We have a Whirlpool Gold and cannot open the freezer door. It has a lower freezer drawer with side-by-side doors on the top. We thought it might be frozen or something was stuck but cannot see how to get the door open to see the problem. I turned the unit off for 2 days and that did no good. Suggestions. We live in a rural area, so a repairman is not readily available.
Hello. It is my pleasure to be working with you today. Even after having the fridge turned off for 2 days, you could still see ice.
Yes, but my husband doesn't think it's just an ice buildup. We see no way to get the door off, so that's why we're stuck. I guess the best thing to do is to turn it off for more time, then throw all the food away.
I would agree. Most likely you have some food packages stuck between the top of the freezer basket and the top of the freezer itself, or wedge in the side rail. Sometimes the rails can cause problems also. Hate to say the only way to get it to move is to force it open. If you can get it open enough to remove the screws at the front on the back of the door at each side rail, then remove the door.
How far would it have to open? We don't see any screws.
The screws hold the door to the slide rails at each side. There are 2 screws on each side. You would need to have the door open quite a bit to access the screws. If you have the ice maker installed, something could be getting caught up on the ice maker. There most likely would be ice holding it in place, as you said you have had it unplugged overnight. It's gonna take some jiggling and back and forth movement to release whatever is hung up, unfortunately.
The freezer is a bottom freezer and the ice maker isn't hooked up, as we have a standalone ice maker.
Correct. The ice maker is still mounted in the freezer. If the freezer is packed too much, items will get lodged on the ice maker. Did you have the freezer packed pretty good? If so, most likely the problem is something hung up that is not letting the door open. Either that or the side rail is bad. Like I said, Therese, no easy way to getting it open, other than pulling on the door. In an extreme case, you can try tilting the fridge back. Just make sure it is unplugged and you do not get it horizontal to where the compressor oil will backload into the coils. Let it sit overnight unplugged, then plug back in. Again, that is an extreme method. Thanks, Bob.
I am afraid the botch section is the refrigerator/freezer is ruined. I did have a lot of food in it. Since we're in a rural area, even if I unplug it and something is really stuck or the rail is bad, the cost will be really high. Thanks so much for your help. Is you're feeling it shot and I'd do better to start over.
I would pull on the door at each side to get the door open. You can replace the rails. Possibly the basket will get bent, then the door will open. Would be a matter of bending it back. It should give. I would say whatever is caught up will give before the door itself. You should be okay. Worst case is replacing the rails. Post back, let me know how you make out. Thanks, Bob.
Okay, we'll leave it unplugged for several days, then try. What do you think rails and labor would run? I promise not to ask much more.
The slide rails kit, depending on the model number, is $164.
Thanks, hope we don't bend the door or something.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/YTHI.